What's up, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at this gun, Endless Waltz. Yeah, as usual, we can't read whatever that says. But if you guys know, this is the Shenlong Gundam from the Endless Waltz manga slash whatever. And this is Master Grade Monday. Alright, so let's take a look at the box here for Mr. Shenlong. And of course you get a great shot here of it in action. And I'm going to be honest, guys, this is probably one of my least favorites from the actual series. And actually one of my least favorite builds from the series. I mean, it looks cool enough, except for this whole weird dragon rocket shield thingy. I'm just not a huge fan. Just gonna put it out there. I'm not a huge fan of this one. But, it is one of the Gundams from the Gundam Wing series. And, of course, this is the Endless Waltz version. So it's sort of in between the anime TV version and the Endless Waltz movie. It's somewhere in there. So it's styled much like the original, but kind of starts to carry over into the new stuff. So we get the Master Grade logo up here, Endless Waltz logo here, Bandai logo down there, of course. Bandai 2011, made in Japan. And let's see, where should we go? We gotta go this way. Okay. So we get history of the Shenlong and the Endless Waltz story down here. OVA, you get the sort of normal version rolling into the Altron Gundam, or Nataku, whatever. I know he calls it just Nataku, which I think is one of the gods there. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me. And then, of course, you come over here to the awesome shot of all the other Gundams from the manga, and I really do dig the manga designs. And then this really awesome scene, I love that. And because I went to the wrong side first, we'll look at that. We get the little guy with the toilet. We get the finished works by Art Presto and Yam 2, which I think is Hiroyuki, or Yamamoto Hiroyuki, I believe so. CG Works is by Eto Koji, and we will get to turning the box upside down in a minute because I did this backwards. But 3,800 yen, very fair price for this. I think I paid maybe like 40, 42, something like that. Come over here, we get a repeat of the top box art, Master Grade, Shenlong. Bluefin warning right there, just covering up everything. So it's the Shenlong, but it's not a Gundam. And it's the XXXG-01S because Shenlong. You come over here and you get the front and rear shot. And I'm gonna be honest, this looks pretty neat. I don't think it looks that good in the final version, or at least maybe it's just mine. I don't know, but I do like it there. I like it. And coming here, we get all the little gimmicks. So it does things, it does all this stuff. It has Dragon Fang, it has weapons, it has leg. Leg is an important thing to have. Figure! Yay, 4-figure. Markings! Good for that. So, yeah. This thing does actually have a couple neat features. But like I said, it's probably my least favorite. And also, I definitely recall this one had some breakage that, thoroughly annoyed me and required some fixing before I could move on. So, let's just go ahead and get to it. But before that, it's upside down. I hate these boxes because sometimes I forget how to do this. I mean, it's totally awesome the way that worked. So, let's go ahead and get this guy out of the display and check him out. Alright, guys. So here we have Shenlong out of the display, and I remember exactly why I didn't like this guy. And don't get me wrong, it's not entirely about the design, because the design is basic throughout all these Gundams. They share the same frame, stuff like this. But just going over it, trying to mess with it a little bit, I've remembered why I didn't like this one. And one, it's because of some of the paint work I did on it, and two, because I think this one had the most amount of breakage out of any of them. And I've told you before, every single one of my kits has broken in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, I remembered this one specifically, just going ahead and go to it. It definitely broke right in here at this elbow joint. So I think what used to be a single jointed elbow is now, or a double jointed elbow is now a single jointed elbow. And I believe this one is cracked in the same manner if you look close enough. Right through there. So I got to be very careful. But I discovered, excuse the sneeze, inside here in this shoulder, I believe this shoulder broke as well, and I had to glue it back together because it was absolutely stuck in the position that it was in. So I had to very, very carefully finagle it and take the arm apart just briefly so that I could do that. Now, besides that, he actually does look pretty decent. And I did discover that I skipped the dry transfers on this guy. I don't know if I just wasn't into them yet or whatever, but so the dry transfer sheet is completely untouched. And honestly, it's lacking some of those details. So I might have to go back and add some of these. So I guess wherever I go back and do the water slides for some of the new P-Bandai ones, maybe I'll go ahead and dry transfer on this guy, because the shield ends up looking pretty plain without those extra stickers. Now, before we get too far, let's go ahead and bring in his friends. So here we have Heavy Arms, who's wanting to fall over, because he does all the time. So we got the Heavy Arms. Scoot you back just a little bit. He's gonna fall, you watch. The Wing Gundam. And yes, I know this is the TV version, it's not the EW. That's the only version I lack of Wing. And last week's Sandrock. So, as you can see, we're basically just missing one of these guys, and you guys know I got him just very recently in a new order. Maybe I need to reposition him just a little bit here. Maybe it won't fall over so much if I point the gun downward. There we go. So there we have a good looking bunch. Actually, it's funny that they're all in like varying degrees of completion. So where this guy and this guy are like extremely complete, you've got Wing back there with no extra stickers, and this guy somewhere in between the details. So that's pretty funny. Let's go ahead and get all these guys out of here. Alright, so let's take a quick look at his accessories since we don't have a whole lot of them. First, you get the nice little beam trident right here. Nice long stick. I don't believe this is, there's no way this is multiple parts, but you also get a couple different tabs right there. Oh look, it does actually have a big old sticker with warnings on it. That's funny. I mean, it's been a few years since I built this, guys. But I did some detail work here with some silver and some gold. Obviously, these were not my best markers. But, of course, with the beam trident, you do get the beam part of that. And it's a really, really nice kind of beam flame effects coming out there. Reminds me a lot of Epion. Which, I haven't forgotten, we will be getting to Epion eventually. But he goes more with Wing Zero, doesn't he? Doesn't he? So, yay. Future reviews. So, and he can hold this virtually anyway, either through the tabs there or the tabs down here. But as you guys saw, you can tab into the back for storage right here. So you just line up whichever peg you want it to be on. So, like so. And then you can have a ridiculously long weapon coming up and out of his back like that. So that's pretty ridiculous. And he can hold it, like I was saying. Come on. And just like all the other things, you get the tab inside the hand. You just tab the trident into that, and then tab the hand back in, and then screw up the thumb. That's one thing I really, really don't like. The thumb is always in the way. And if you're trying to put like a rifle in his hand, the thumb is the worst. That look like this guy doesn't really use any guns. So you can totally get this look here. And I guess you can put it in the lower if you really want to get some reaching, stabbing motion. I wish it had a tab up here so that he can like stand there with it, touching the ground. There's like no way he really can do that. So, alright, other than that, you do get his shield, which just looks like a shield. Very interesting kind of complex layered design here. And I don't know why, but I painted this with a blue marker. I don't know if there were nubs. There's definitely a nub there, but I don't know about what else. So here, here, here. Maybe it's supposed to be touch-up. I can't actually tell. But like I said before, I'm missing a lot of the dry transfers because I did none of them. So you would get like a bunch of these cool curved bits. Some of these right here would all go on there. That would make it look a little bit more complete. And I did add some gold and silver paint right there in the middle, because I don't even know what it is, but I wanted to put that on there. And of course, his main weapon, the dragon fang thingy. And in this, it just looks like a little hot rod spaceship, doesn't it? Now, I don't know if that's kind of how it's supposed to operate. You guys tell me. I know, I guess these are like flamethrowers right here, and then of course you get the green sticker there for the eyes / cameras, and these bits, these flaps open up like so, and you do have the arm mount, which I think technically in this mode should be folded under. And I can see right here, this part feels very, very rough, very, very scarily stiff, kind of fragile. And you can see I added what looked to be like a dark, I don't know if that was a dark Gundam gray or something like that. Really, really terrible paint job. I'm not going to lie. Then some bad silver and gold through there. But of course, this does mount on his arm using the kind of shield tabby thingy. Like so. And I'm going to go ahead and take the lance out of his hand and make life a little easier for this. Come on. Just remove the fingers. Which way am I looking at it? Here we go. So come up over the arm, tab it in, like so, and then that's how it looks. Actually, I think I've got it on upside down. Come on. Now, I had a heck of a time getting it off the first time, because, as I've said before, most of these haven't moved from the shelf, except when we moved. So they've just been sitting in storage mode, or it's just standing there in the same position for years, which really isn't good for these plastic models. They do get stiff, and they weaken over time like that. Okay, so now that I've got this facing the right way, go ahead and fold it in like so. And the main problem I have with it is it's stuck like that. Now, you can rotate the arm and maybe kind of do that number, but I wish it was on top of the arm, not underneath. It kind of makes it weird. Plus, this elbow joint is supremely weak. I mean, you can see it just dangling like that, so that's just not great. And I can feel that getting really badly stiff on straightening out like that. So I gotta be real careful with this. I don't want it breaking mid-review. So it does have a storage mode where it can just very carefully flip up and back like so. And once again, just all the joints are very scary. But I'll go ahead and pull this off so you can see it close a little bit for the gimmick. And then we'll talk about the Gundam himself. So because this is the Dragon Fang, it does do Dragon Fang things. These bits open up and you get some nice little claw bits under there. And then down here, it also opens up. So you get kind of a mouth and kind of some extra fangs coming at you. Like so. So rawr, rawr. And then flamey flamies, shooty shooties. And of course, I did add some gold paint there. That's all nice and pretty. So because this is a very annoying part and potentially can cause damage in the rest of this review, I'm going to leave it off. We'll put it back on for the final shots here. So, and the shield, I believe, just plugs on. Yep, just like that. So let's go ahead, take a look at him up close. You get camera stickers, multiple levels of them. You get the eyes there. Looks like I painted a little silver over the head Vulcans right through there. It looks like I did some kind of paint wash or just painted the chest part right there around the neck. And of course, stickers all over this guy, because of course there are. This elbow must have broken on me too or something. This is like very, very wiggly. And he's not... There we go. If I can get it to bend at the secondary elbow, that's a lot more stiff. Okay. So, just be good. Please be good. All right. I have a feeling articulation is going to be incredibly hard to show off on this guy. But I'm going to look in here. Look, I actually did some paint work inside the shoulder there. Maybe I can get... Where's that pen light I keep talking about? I need to get one. So you can see I did a little bit of paint work inside the shoulder. Don't know why. Don't even know what color that was originally. It may have been blue, and I just blued it up some more. Which apparently I did around the waist as well, and on these. So it looks like I was just going for partial full paint jobs. So they were already blue. I don't know why I felt the need to actually paint them blue again. No idea, guys. It's archaeology. I'm always trying to find these things out. So you do get a little bit of ab crunch, a little bit of flex there. He can rotate, but he's not going to go all the way around due to the back skirts. Oh yeah, all of that got painted. Look at that. The head, hopefully the head moves fine. Okay, so the head has that same hinge with the ball joint up here. So he can turkey neck, and he could possibly go all the way around. Yeah. Whoop, nope. Head just popped off. So it doesn't really want to go all the way around without popping off. So we got to be real careful with that, guys. So, seriously, most disappointed kit. Hold on, let's come to the back. Let's look at some of these details here. So we got some silver, some black paint, of course, stickers. These little handles here. I don't know what I did to these thrusters. That's just ugly. It's just not pretty. Yeah. So the gold is there. I painted it with some dark gray that came out really horribly. It looks like I got fingerprints all over it. Definitely not one of my best works. Really, really not. Whenever I get around to building the Altron, hopefully very soon, I'm going to do better than I did on this, because this is bad. It looks like I painted the frame down here with that same kind of dark gray. Looks like I did the same up here on the elbows. Hopefully the Gundam marker didn't like attribute to the weakness of the joints. I do know that some paints, things like that, can eat and break down plastic a little bit. I hope that's not what happened here. Very well could be, but I'm hoping that's not what happened. I don't know if I can actually get the double knee action. There we go. Okay, so you totally get double knee action. Like I said, painted all this before. I'm being extremely careful with this. I'm not even going to mess with the hips, just totally honest. You can rotate the legs just a little bit. You know, you're not going to get all the way around. I'm not even going to try to put him in a Van Damme or Jean-Claude. Yeah, very, very, very stiff. Very scary. And you do get ankle rock, and you should get a little bit of toe point. Yep, so you get some toe action. Some very not well maintained or cleaned up things there. I look back on some of these and go, you know, I was definitely a noob. I did, from a distance, you guys, you know, it looks okay, you know, but this is definitely not one of my better works at all. Super stiff, except for the joints that feel like they're all about to shatter. Questionable paint. This thing that's falling apart on me, sadly. And, you know, some of it is down to the age of the kit, the way the plastics were made back then. They're definitely not up to par with current Bandai standards by any means. So that's why I'm glad at least Altron is made, hopefully, you know, in new manufacturing. Same molds for pretty much everything, but brand new manufacturing processes, better plastics. So hopefully there won't be any issues with that. Like I had with the Heavy Arms. Heavy Arms Custom, no issues. I was scared because it's the first wing kit I'd built in forever, but it in the result, it didn't have any real problems. So, I mean, this is going to be kind of an abbreviated review, guys, because, frankly, this guy scares the daylights out of me. I don't remember. I know the cockpit is, like, right there, but I don't know how to access it. Is there a thing? I thought this would, like, flip up or something. Maybe the whole thing just doesn't. This cockpit is right there. I can't even recall how to open it, guys. But I'm sure there's a little, what is his name? Wufei? Something like that? I really don't... It's not so much that, you know, I don't know. It's just that, honestly, because this thing pissed me off and just... Ugh. Maybe that's why I didn't even bother with the dry transfers. This thing was just that bad. At least some of the things that I can put dry transfers on don't have to move, so it might be okay. Well, let's go ahead and get to final thoughts on this. Alright guys, so yeah, so realistically, if you really love Gundam Wing and you want to see just all the MGs together, go ahead and get this guy. Try to get one that's been made slightly more recently, I guess. If it's realistically one of the ones that was originally printed and you find it just now, odds are that thing is going to fall apart and break on you just like it did for this. And I'm telling you now, the things that broke on assembly. Like the first time putting this elbow together and just, you know, bending the elbow, it broke. I think the shoulder up here did the same thing, and it feels like that elbow is ready to break as it is. So, yeah, I mean, there's a reason I don't mess with these wing kits very often, and it's because of that. And just putting it out there, guys, why are these like big tow hooks? I guess they're like a big design aspect, but to me they look like a tow hook you would have on your car. So I don't know if maybe he should have some chains hanging off of that or something. I have no clue, but it's just there. While the aesthetics are nice, the kit itself, it's old and it breaks down very badly, so that's why I don't really mess with it. But it fits in nicely with the rest of the collection, and hopefully when I get to Altron, there won't be any issues. I could just put it together and be happy. Except for what I know, it's gonna have water slides. It's a P-Bandai. I still need to do the dry transfers on this. Hopefully it'll at least help the look out, make it look more complete. Other than that, I'm not really gonna mess with this guy much. He's gonna stay in pretty much one pose forever and be like that. Also, I hate this. The way this mounts is terrible. A separate little thing coming out the backpack or the shoulder would have been optimal versus this being stuck on the arm in a position that makes no sense, because it should come off like here, like if it's an extra turn, like it should be up, not on the bottom like that. I just can't stand it. You don't get the posing out of it that you really need. It would have been better off with a connection like this has, where it's sandwiched over the arm and then you put a hinge and a rotation joint, stuff like that. I think that would have actually made it better. So for now, this is about as good as it gets. Wow, I can't believe I just did that. Flinging my hands around all crazy. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope you had a great weekend. We had a very rainy one, and actually, as of recording this video, the rain and stuff is not over yet here in Texas. So I'll catch you guys on the next review. Stick around. I think we're going to keep on with these Wing Gundam kits for right now, at least, because it's kind of fun, you know, especially looking at the old ones, but also getting to build the new ones. But I'll leave it at that, guys. Remember, as always, keep on building.